Hi, welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Hi Joanne, how are you?
Good, Chris, how are you?
Good. What do you think the topic should be?
Well, I'd
today?
really like to talk about how to do a return in enterprise.
Okay, yep, no, that's good. It's very common for people to, after they receive materials into inventory, that for whatever reason they have to ship the materials back to the vendor.
Right.
And it seems like there are a lot of people that either, number one, don't know that that functionality exists in enterprise where you can process returns, or they don't really have a good grasp on how to do it.
Right.
First of all, when you do process a return, it's going to initiate from where, the same screen where you would process a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
It does integrate with inventories, so it will make a downward adjustment.
Okay.
And if you have the full accounting package in AP, if you've processed an invoice, it will also make a debit journal against that invoice to facilitate, issuing a credit.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Can you show me how to do it in enterprise?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to start actually in inventory. We'll show you the item that I'm going to be working with. This first business card item. Notice that the quantity on hand currently is 1,000. Okay, I just recently did a receipt against that item, so here's the purchase order that I was working with. And like I said, you're going to initiate the return from the receive material screen. Okay, so I have a PO line and I have a receipt. Okay, the return button. Okay, now if you had multiple receipt lines here, you'd obviously highlight the one that you wanted to return.
Okay.
And then you can push the return button. Really, it's just going to give you a message. Are you sure you want to return? Yes. And then you can hit OK. It'll come back with a message that the item has been returned. Okay. It'll tell you down here on the flag that the item has been returned with a message of true here. And I'm just going to go back to inventory for a second. And if we now look at that item, you'll notice that the quantity on hand is 0. If I look at the transactions and adjustments specifically for that item, you can see that it made a downward adjustment of 1,000. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in addition to that, if, like I said, if you had the accounting modules and this PO receipt had been invoiced already, the system would have created a debit journal and attached it to that invoice as a way, for you to process the credit.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what if I don't want to return the full 1,000? Maybe I only want to return half of what I received. Can I do that?
Absolutely. Yep. If we go back to, actually, I'll exit out of inventory. We'll go to purchasing again. And let me just copy this PO real quick. We'll do another one. Okay, and I'll go to receive, and I'll click the add button to add a receipt. Now, if I, a couple days later, wanted to process a return on this particular receipt, I could hit the return button, say yes, and when the screen comes up, it will let you type in here an amount. So if you wanted to say return half, okay, you could change the quantity to 500, and that will change your quantity there. Okay, and if I, just to illustrate the point, if we go back into inventory real quick and we look at that item, you'll see we had, based on the new receipt, would have put 1,000 in, and then based on the return of half, now we're seeing a quantity of just 500
Okay,
left.
that's perfect. Now, what if the item I purchased was a non-inventory item? Can I still return it?
Sure, yep.
Okay.
Finished good items, outside services, any of the other different inventory types, they can all be returned. Yep.
Okay, great.
Okay. And maybe one other thing to note too, even in job costing, now that we've processed a return here, the job cost reports are all updated to show the true value return. So if you returned 500 out of 1,000, then it will show a received cost based on 500, not 1,000.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
No, I think you've answered all my questions.
That's
Thank
good.
you very much.
All right, you're very welcome. Well, this was another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Please look forward to more to come.